you've just come out of a session. How important is a summit like the ITF for policy?
Well, it's a place to share best practices for sure, but you can also learn from mistakes other countries have made as well too, and you get to see what's going on globally. We in Canada find this to be very valuable, and we've always been a member of ITF, and of course my ministry takes a keen interest in it and is part of the important advisory committees. So I'm grateful to be here. It's very interesting and it's a beautiful city, so how can you not love it?
You've sat at a table with ministers from around the world, you as a minister, but also industry players. I've just spoken to Transdev CEO. How important is this dialogue?
It's really important because in Canada we have a system that is completely deregulated. So we have private companies who own the rail, who do the operations as well too, and we're really focused on freight. We're not so much focused on passenger, but we're getting there. We do need to focus on passenger, especially in tight geographical positions. And hearing about it from other countries is extremely helpful. And you know, a takeaway is you don't have to necessarily solve your problem. Maybe you come to industry with the problem and they can provide you some solutions. And that kind of dialogue is really helpful for us when we're trying to make and create policy.
In Canada, there's been a lot of debate about rail safety following the incident in Quebec. What needs to be done on the international scale?
Well, you know, what happened in Lac-Mégantic was devastating to the community, to the people who lost loved ones, and the realization that we can always do better. We do believe we have a safe rail system in Canada. In fact, our accidents have been decreasing. CN and CP are great. But we still had this accident happen. So our Transportation Safety Board is going through the analysis of what caused it and what happened. They've made a number of recommendations along the way, and the government has implemented them and acted upon them. But it's always a reminder that without having a safe railway system, you really don't have that social license. And we're struggling now to get back the Canadian, their confidence in the system so that they know that this can't happen again and affect their communities, and we're working really hard on that. And I don't know what other countries can learn from it other than the fact that the initial reaction is to have a knee-jerk reaction and over-regulate, and we're trying not to do that. We're trying to find that space where it makes sense, because you can't always protect against human frailty. That's what happens. But we'll get our report why it happened, and we'll make sure that we do all that we can to make the system safer than it already is.
This summit has the slogan or the tagline, the motto, transport in a changing world. How, in your opinion, is this world changing?
Well, a great example of a changing world is whereas we used to transport a lot of oil by pipelines between ourselves and the United States, we have had a constraint in terms of pipeline, both building and capacity, and as a result, oil has found its way onto trains, and that poses a whole different set of challenges for us, especially when you end up having about 100 units together and a long train system and people see it. So we do have to adapt, and we may not have caught on to this move onto rail as quickly as we should have. So today, talking about future trends and hearing about the global capacity and what's going to be happening in the growth of freight because of our globalization, it's a good reminder to look at other commodities too.